Hey everybody, so this is our astrology weather forecast for the 27th of October 2024. I have a few things going on today. Moon continues through Virgo, and that has us looking at the parts of things, not the whole, but what is it comprised of, and the bits and the pieces. So we are focused on details, trivia, and what needs to be put into place. This is interesting because we also have some potential for nitpicking when we're looking at this yod from Mercury to Jupiter, Mercury to Chiron. Wow. We have to be careful about how we interpret and respond to things with this. Because we can hear things hurtfully. We can hear things and we can interpret them in such a way that it hits us in such a fashion that we can respond in a way that hits back. So we can have the potential for hurt coming both ways, both coming and going, because we can't easily interpret what is being said. And so we tend to react with the energy that we've received. And it can really suck. It can really suck because it leads to this hypervigilance in our response, and it really gets in the way of attunement, just natural attunement. So we can all be on pins and needles today. We can all be pulled into some people pleasing when it comes to how we're dealing with people around us, how we're perceiving people around us, and how we are responding in conversation. The perception that something has to be fixed or something's wrong, that's what we respond out of. And so we can over extend ourselves. We can overdo it when it comes to trying to make sure that everybody wins in the end. So it's a day of potential hurt feelings that go around in a circle. We also have Venus and Mars in a sesquiquadrate. So there's conflict here between the masculine and feminine and proactive and receptive forces within us. And this can show up as competition in our sexual and romantic relationships, friendships. We aren't trying to harmonize. We're trying to make sure that our desires are fulfilled. And if that comes at a price, we will pay that. So it's a day where we try to lead, and we are more focused on personal satisfaction rather than a win-win, rather than dancing together in such a way that there's this perfect harmony. We can want to make sure that the dance goes in the way that ensures that we get our desires met. There's a selfishness that comes with this. And when we act out of friction or conflict, when we have Venus and Mars in difficult aspect with each other, it causes conflict with the people around us because we are putting our own agenda ahead of what is good for the relationship, what is good for we. We're choosing me. And conflict will follow. There's a rebalancing that will have to come, because if we are asserting our own self, if we're being selfish, if we're like, no, you fulfill me, the other person's going to come back at us as, well, you know what, you've taken, you've insisted, you've been selfish, it's my turn. Now I'm going to be fulfilled. Is this how we do things? Okay. And so if we set an example of selfishness, that is what we get back. So it can create quite a lot of tension that can lead to the possibility of having to rebalance and make up in romantic relationships. And so there can be a equilibrium that is achieved, but that's only if you fix your problems between the two of you. That isn't all that likely with this weird stuff with Chiron and Mercury and Jupiter. We may not be able to handle each other or ourselves, our own emotions, in such a way that that rebalance can be achieved. So we can have some things that are erupt, and then we either look past it or sweep it under the carpet, and we're going to carry it with us as a chink in the armor of our trust. So for some people, you know, if you're emotionally mature and you're dealing with someone who is also emotionally mature, you can work through this relatively quickly. But if you're dealing with one or both people that are struggling and that are likely to act out of hurt feelings rather than manage their own emotions, if that's what you're likely to do, and this can be one of these days where we pick up some measure of resentment and carry that forth with us, because we may not have the interpersonal skills to have revealing, difficult conversations that can clear the air and that can put us back into a position where we feel like we're on the same side. We don't feel like we're on the same side when we have the difficult aspects between Venus and Mars. It turns into a sparring match or a type of competition, and it really gets in the way of an effortless flow of just being together. So, pulled a card today since I'm in Vancouver. I'm getting ready to go to Hawaii tomorrow. You guys will be able to go with me. It'll be so beautiful and fun. Two of Swords came out today. Doesn't that perfectly describe what is going on? So we need to have a balanced choice here when it comes to how we are going to act on our desires. Is it something that's getting in the way of what we ultimately want, which is a good rapport with somebody else? So I am going to flip over to my YouTube channel member group, and I will do a mini reading in there this morning and expand on these topics a little bit. So if you're interested, join me over there, and I will see you guys tomorrow.